Mr. Baker, I'll start with you because you, over the past few weeks, had come forward with the call for the Prime Minister to step aside. Any surprise that he ultimately reached that decision finally today?
Yeah, so Vassy, as you said, I was one of those who since October has been asking the Prime Minister to step down and to call a leadership race. And I think it's important to articulate why I did so. I did so because I thought it was in the best interest of the country and the party, and it's because I had heard from countless constituents and countless Canadians that this is what they wanted to see happen, that they wanted to see a change in Prime Ministers, but they didn't want Pierre Poilievre to be Prime Minister. And I think what the Prime Minister did today was to honor those calls for change, but also give us the best chance of defeating Pierre Poilievre. So I think there were, as you alluded to, many calls for the Prime Minister to step down, some from caucus members, some from outside. But I think what the Prime Minister did today was a difficult thing, but I think the important thing, and again, in the best interests of the country, and heeds the call for change that Canadians have been expressing for some time.
And I certainly, Ms. Jasek, wouldn't take away from the difficulty of the decision, but I think you and I sat across from each other now a number of months ago when you were calling for even a secret ballot so that the will of caucus would be expressed ultimately to the Prime Minister. Does the timing of his decision, the fact that he waited as late as today to make it, do you think potentially impact your party's electoral chances in the next election?
Well, I think we all know that Justin Trudeau is a fighter. He said this himself. I think he honestly felt, and I think we've all seen, had done a number of excellent things for all Canadians through the last almost 10 years of his prime ministership. And so, obviously, it was a very big decision for him to make. I'm glad that he has come to this conclusion because I think it is now time to move on. And while we can certainly attest to all the good things that have happened over the last 9 years for Canadians, and I think we've all heard about the childcare benefit and daycare for $10 and so on. But now we have an opportunity to hear from some potential new leaders, to offer Canadians some new ideas. I think energize people to think about the big decision they're going to have to make in the next election. So they will have a real opportunity to express their views, because I'm sure whoever steps forward to contest the leadership will be listening to Canadians and will bring their voices to the table with some solutions as well.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Mr. Soubery, I think it's fair to say behind the scenes you were supportive in the last few months of the Prime Minister making the decision that he did. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. But also, what do you think needs to happen next as far as the form the leadership race takes?
Well, first off, today was a very challenging day for the country. We have a new direction that we will be taking, though, into the future. And the important thing is that the Liberal Party is strong. We have a lot of very strong contenders to lead our party and the country into the future. The Conservative Party has nothing but slogans and schoolyard bully tactics. We, on the other hand, offer a real program. We've navigated this country through COVID. We have supported the middle class, supported the economy, worked on Indigenous reconciliation in a real and meaningful way. There's still more to do, but we have done that concretely. We've promoted, we are the party that is there for all Canadians. We are the party of the Charter. We're the party that protects the Federation. We're the party of official bilingualism. This is what we are as a party. And there are, thankfully, very good contenders to lead us into the future and lead this country.
I guess I would follow up on that, and I imagine you all share that view. And I understand it, given that you are Liberal MPs. But if all of that, Mr. Baker, was true, why for the last year have you trailed the Conservatives to the degree that you have? It has been sustained. It has been perfunctory. And in fact, it has been punctuated by 2 by-election losses in incredibly safe ridings for your party. Is that all Justin Trudeau's fault? Or is there an issue with the party that may be hard to rectify in the minds of Canadians over, a 6-week leadership race, let's say?
Well, I think it's a few things. I mean, first of all, I think part of it is the fact that people wanted a change in prime ministers, a change in leaders. But I do also think people are looking for a renewed Liberal vision for the country. And I think what the leadership race will give us the opportunity, I hope, to have is a national conversation where the leadership candidates have a chance to listen to what Canadians have to say, from coast to coast and formulate and articulate a renewed and different vision for the country that really addresses not just the face of the party, not just addresses change in terms of the face of the party and who leads us, but also in substance and how we address the things that matter to people. At the end of the day, we're elected to help solve problems, to help improve people's lives. And I think that's what Canadians are most focused on, are going to be most focused on as they get to election time. So I think it's important that the leadership race and the ultimate winner of that leadership race articulate a renewed vision that addresses those things that are most important to people: affordability, housing, healthcare, and all the other challenges that people face and want us to address.
Is it possible, Ms. Jazyk, to do that before an election is forced, essentially at the end of March? And I say that because all the opposition party leaders came out today, including most significantly, I think, the NDP in this context, because they have supported your party throughout the past number of months on confidence votes, saying that they won't do that they're basically going to bring down your government at the earliest possible opportunity. Is it possible to do what you have all described is necessary in presenting a new vision to Canadians and a new leader to Canadians between now and March 24th?
I think part of the problem has been the last year that people have basically tuned us out, because in the last year we have brought in some very progressive programs, dental care for seniors, the beginning of pharmacare. But because there was perhaps a fatigue with our leader, with the Prime Minister, which is fairly natural after almost 10 years in power for people to feel this. We see this historically here in Canada and in many other jurisdictions across the world. So I don't think people were really taking in what was going on. And furthermore, as my colleagues are saying, the opportunity to renew, to listen to Canadians, to present new ideas, a new direction, all within the Liberal Party's values and basic premise that everyone deserves an equal opportunity. Every Canadian needs to fulfill their full potential. So those sort of basic Liberal principles will no doubt guide our leadership contenders. And frankly, I'm really excited to see how the next couple of months progress.
Do you think, I'll sort of try the same question, do you think, Mr. Zuberi, that all of that is possible when you could be facing an election like a campaign as early as April?
Certainly, so much can change in so little time. And right now we are stepping forward. I'm really excited personally about what the next weeks have to offer and what we as a party have to showcase to our party membership and to Canadians. This is going to be a really exciting period where we are going to have high caliber individuals say that they want to lead the country and become the next Prime Minister of Canada and help to meet the moment. We have met the moment in the past. We will continue to meet the moment in the future. And I'm confident that we will be able to win government again with a new leader.
Okay, on that note, I'm going to leave our conversation. I appreciate all three of you making the time to come in and have the discussion. Samir Zuberi, Helena Jazyk, and Yvonne Baker.